Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Painting in Place. I'm Scott, and today we are going to be continuing work on our big boy Cthulhu here. We got some, it doesn't look like we got very far, because last time all we did was paint him German gray, but we got a lot. That was great. That was a lot of work that we got done. So we're going to continue on today. I learned what the name of what it is that we're doing. We are doing something called Zenithal highlighting. So we're going to continue on with our airbrush, which we've got set up and ready to go. And we're going to get our undercoat of highlights done. Before we get started, just a quick hello to everyone there. Ben, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Zagmeister, hello, hello. And Manic Pixie Travel, great to see you as well. I hope that your travel yesterday was safe. Let me know if it all went well. Trying to think if we have any other announcements that have to come up. Can't really think of anything. I mean, I'm going to be touting this for the entirety of the week, but hey, this week is the week that we've got a awesome guest coming to our Gauntlet on Friday. This Friday, the 24th, we've got the amazing Brittany Cox, who is a wonderful voice actor. You may know her from Fire Emblem. You may also know her as Nancy Drew from the new Nancy Drew games. Anyway, she's going to be joining us. Be sure to come on by Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. That's enough of me talking. I don't have much else that I'm going to say. Let's go ahead and get to our big guy here. And look at that. I already remembered to put the music on. Manic Pixie Travel, thank you. The in Florida safely. Good. I'm so glad to hear that. Hey, Brioni, hello. How's it going? Great to see you again. So, yes, we've got our big boy Cthulhu here. And as I was saying, we learned, by we I mean me, we learned what technique it is that we're doing. So this is called Zenithal base coating, or Zenithal highlighting. One of those two. Zenithal is involved. And that coming from the term zenith, or the peak of, I believe originally it was the peak of the sun, or the peak of a celestial object. And so, essentially, we are creating the highlights for if the sun was directly above this model here. And yeah, we're doing that with the airbrush. I'm already seeing that there are some bits that we've missed, so I've got my German gray out here ready to go, and we're just going to do some touch-ups. I noticed something a little bit here on the spines of the tail. Hey, Mr. Awesome! Hello, 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 how are you? Oh, and there was another spot that I just saw that I thought, oh no. I realized I missed a good chunk from his mouth tentacles. That's a grody way of saying that. Mouth tentacles. But it's what he has. He's got mouth tentacles. And we've got to make sure that we get them all covered in paint. If I seem a little frazzled today, this morning or afternoon as I got started, I want to let you all know we had some technical difficulties here at the tavern that I discovered about 15 minutes before we went live. So I just got those sorted, just in time for us to actually start and get going. So I'm taking a couple seconds to recenter myself. He's just an oversized ood. He is just an oversized ood. Although, I think... I'm trying to remember what came first, the ood or him. Let's actually pop back over to our big cam here, so that we can see everything going on. Because were the ood original Doctor Who, or did they show up in the reboot? Because if that's the case, Cthulhu has been around a bit longer. When was Lovecraft writing a lot of his stuff? That was... I don't have a date on that. Hey, Compliance Investigator. Hello, happy Monday to you as well. How are you doing on this Monday afternoon? Monday, hold on. July 20th. The day of our Dark Lord Cthulhu here. So, Manic Pixie Travel, how long are you in Florida for? That is, Also, I realized that, you know, you told us that you watch this while you're at work, so I'm not gonna hold this to you to say, hey, respond! Talk to me! By all means, take your time. But I'd be interested to know. Okay, now, you may notice we've got the head of Cthulhu on here. But as I said, we're going to actually paint the head separately from the body. However, we need the head on here to do our Zenithal highlighting. So we're going to set him down to let all that kind of dry as that happens. And I really want to get to painting a bit of the base here, because I think we can actually get to the base. I'm hesitant to... No, never mind. Don't mind me. I'm just talking out loud. All right. Hey, Reskin420. Will we see Cthulhu in the Gauntlet? We will not be seeing Cthulhu in this season of the Gauntlet. Cthulhu is not does not appear in the standard Dungeons and Dragons monster manual. I believe he is. Where's the paint? I pulled this out. Ah, here we go. I believe that he is a homebrewed. He may have showed up in some of the other books, or at least an elder god of an unnamed variety showed up in some of the other books. However, at the moment, the Gauntlet is 100% just monster manual monsters. So for any of you watching the Gauntlet who are wondering, hey, what might be showing up next, you can just grab a copy of the monster manual and see what's coming up. So to get this highlighting done while he's drying, we're going to be using Citadel's Wraith Bone. So this is going to be our, this is going to be the whites, the lighter colors that are showing up. So I'm going to bring my little jerry-rigged airbrush stand here. I'm going to grab a fresh brush to use to load the paint in. Maybe send him as a special guest if the players get too full of themselves. You know, I like that. I like that. You know, there is a new thing that's going to be happening in the Gauntlet, starting next month. Lovecraft wrote from 1917 until his death in the 30s. Hey, thank you for that info. Wow, this is already really caked and gooped up. All right, this might need a little more mixing. Goodness gracious, I don't know if y'all can see that in there, but that's not good. We definitely don't want these chunks in our airbrush, because we get that, that's gonna cause some clogging. So we're gonna mix this up a wee bit. At this rate, he might need to just get to the next. Yeah, no, I might. You know what? Yeah, I take that all back. Cthulhu is going to show up. Cthulhu is going to show up next episode. I know we've got a special guest, and we want to treat her with love and respect. But no, this is going to happen, because otherwise, we're not getting what we need. I'm not gonna lie now. Having seen how goopy this is getting, I'm hesitant to use this in the airbrush. So give me a quick second. We're gonna see ivory. Yep, we're gonna use ivory instead. Wraith Bone, we're gonna save you for another day, cause I don't know. Wraith Bone is a great color, might I add. It is a lovely color. Highly recommend if you're looking for colors to use to paint skeletons and all sorts of stuff. It's a good one. It's a really good one. Just not for me for today. He was also a huge racist. Yeah, no, he, Lovecraft was not great. I'll even say he wasn't the best writer. He created an incredible universe for other people to play in. But his writing's not great. You know, I think he describes as certain horrors, when it got really scary, he describes them as indescribable, which feels a little lazy. Come on, dude. Alright, so as before, we're just putting a little bit of this this ivory in our airbrush. We're putting it directly in, and then we're thinning it using this airbrush medium. This one by a company called Golden. Yeah, he really needed an editor. He really needed someone to tell him that... He needed someone to be able to say, that's not great. But he didn't have that. We're really seeing a real more golden age of Lovecraftian horror now that other people are taking his work and doing stuff with it, you know? However, let's not forget, he did start it. Alright, we're gonna put this aside. And as last time, I'm gonna bring out our painting block here and make sure that we've got a good mixture going on here. Which at the moment doesn't look like we have. Hello. Oh, there's a new, oh, Zachy Reds. Hello, hello. I don't think I recognize that name. Welcome to the tavern. Or welcome to the Adventures Pack. Welcome to Painting in Place. I did not realize there was a new HBO series coming out for Lovecraft. That's cool. I can get into that. Ooh. Come on. There we go. Ooh, that might be a little too much. Might be a little too much. I may have overdone it. We will see. We will see. We will see. But hey, how is everyone doing on this fine Monday? We've got Manic Pixie Travel up in Florida, which, oh, I could have sworn I saw your response. Can't remember. Goes by so quickly sometimes. Anyone have any plans for the weekend? Or not weekend, the week. It's the start of the week. Does anyone have any plans for the week? Or are we, kind of on a similar pattern to what we're all used to? We did, Spoonkins. We did an excellent job at making Lovecraft a wonderful Christmas tale. There's a pretty big story in there that I feel like I owe some people. Alright, cool. It's subtle, but you can see it. Benjamin, hoping to start production on the Chronicles this week. Yeah, I know that you're currently waiting on your materials to ship, but heck, once that happens, that's going to be very exciting. All right. So, before I get into that story, here's how this is going to work. We are going to be painting top down, and we're just going to try and get where we're going to see where the light's going to hit this guy. I've never done this before. I don't know. We'll see how this works. All right, so you can already see we're getting the basics of some highlights in here. Is the music playing? Yes, it is. Can you guys hear it? Do I need to turn it up? Hold on. I think that's as high as it goes. Yeah, I think that's as high as it goes. Yeah, it's the way that the music works here on painting in places. It is a very subtle piece, because I'm playing it through speakers and you are hearing it through the same microphone that I talk into. Now you may be wondering, but Scott, why is that? Well, that's because I don't have the music that we are listening to on the computer that I stream through. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I got way too close there. Shoot, I got way too close there. Okay, hold on. There we go. So yeah, so you're starting to see how we're doing the yeah, this highlighting. So hopefully this this color, we're gonna do a few passes of this. This ivory might not be light enough. We might actually have to start just putting some straight white on here. But yeah, like this is, you're seeing a little bit of shine from this light, but even if I turn the light off, let's see here, that same highlighting effect is coming through. So that's what we're going for with this airbrushing effect. Mr. Awesome, got your unemployment payment today. Yeah, money. Oh boy, howdy. Don't we know that is yeah, many folks that I know, myself included, are all gig workers. And have been relying on that COVID unemployment to get through this. Wow, that is coming through really nicely. There we go. Now, obviously, the parts that are going to be getting this highlight the most are like the top of the head here, which is why I've gone back over a couple of times. The tips of the wings, the arms are getting a good coating of this. But now let's go ahead and move on to that tail. Tail in the back. All right, here we go. You like that when it's right by the microphone? Is that good? Is this good for you? let's go ahead and let that dry a little bit. Hey, Legally Blind Lurker, how are you today? Good, nice to see you dropping in. All right. Reskin420, does he normally have more color or is he all black? So he normally has more color, and we're actually going to be going for a nice green, where did I have here? We've got this lovely scaly hide that we're going to be putting onto him, but right now what we're doing is we're laying down our shadows and our highlights. So when we go back over with this scaly green, it's going to be a lot more visible in it's going to be a lot more visible in these wider areas, and it's not going to be as visible in the darker areas. And so what that's going to do is, yeah, it's going to show us where light is being cast and where darkness is falling. So that's our current process. And there we go. Wow, look at that. Just like that, that looks pretty menacing, doesn't it? So yeah, you can really see now where these highlights and shadows are going to fall. Let's go ahead and get a little more on his belly here. Get some on his toesies. There we go. All right, now we're gonna let that dry for a little bit, because as cool as the airbrush is, that's still very wet. Wow. While we're doing that, we're gonna remember to hydrate, because I never remember to hydrate anywhere else, so I might as well do it here. Red sand, yellow eyes. So wait, red sand, like the ground that he's on here. You're thinking this should be red? When's the next Raft session? Great question, Reskin420. The next Raft session is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I gotta say, I'm having so much fun with that game. I don't know why I did that. It's not like that's gonna be... we'll see. I'm having such a fun time with Raft. It's an amazing game. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going through all the emotions of it. Oh, actually, another thing I should let you all know that I didn't say in the announcements today. We got a couple more videos that are just posted now onto our YouTube channel. The first one is we're finally getting caught up. Actually, here while we wait for all that to dry, let's chat for a little bit. We're finally getting caught up with our the Drow Empress. We're getting all those videos put onto YouTube, and also now it should have gone live about a minute, or not a minute ago, at 1 o'clock, the same time that we started this. The Raft, Day 1, Part 1. So we're taking all of our sessions and breaking them up into 5 parts each. So the first one just went up on YouTube today. For anyone who hasn't seen it and wants to get caught up, you can. Otherwise, yeah, come on over. We'll see you tomorrow at 11. Okay, I think while this continues to dry, we are going to work on this, and we're going to do this with our brushes. We're going to we're gonna go old school. I don't need any special brushes. I'm just gonna use this cheap one because there's not a lot of detail work that we gotta get into. There's a little bit of detail work in the writing here, which I'm looking forward to. So, we had a call for... I should paint Frank for my next project. Yeah, the sand. I don't know if I'm sold on a pure red, but we could do like a dark red and see what that does. Let me look at some inspiration over here. I don't know. I'm hesitant to go with my standard like dark stone. I do that all the time. What have we got? We got burnt red, and I could probably do this and then put a wash over that. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you all are thinking for this stone, this ground that he is stepping upon. Because typically he comes from beaches, but this is also then this stone in the ground. Why am I having such a hard time thinking about what I should paint? This. Oh, let me grab this box. Do samples of each. It's not a bad call. Clearly, I do not have enough space for all my paints. Let's pull some of these out. Yeah, there we go. That's the way to do it. All right, let's look at a couple different options. And yeah, Reskin 420, that... See, a smart person would have thought about that. So, you know, you're a smart person. Let's go ahead and do some samples of each. I've got here some quick index cards that we can use for this. We're gonna try this burnt red. I think we're also gonna try maybe a fur brown. Fur brown has kind of a reddish, is kind of a reddish brown color. Let's also try... Ooh. No, not London Gray. Where is it? I actually have a great color for this. Dark sea green. Let's give this a try. Oh, that needs a little more shaking up. I really like how this has turned out. These, this Zenithal highlighting. This is, like I said, this is my first time trying it. Always a fan of trying out new things, and I like where this is going. Alright, so we're going to see this both on white, and let's also do a little bit on this palette here. So. We've got that. Maybe dark sand with blood spots. That's not a bad idea. I do have some blood gore effects that we could try. That one's a little watery. Hold on. That one is very watery. There we go. He's an ancient evil. He needs to look evil. It's true. It's true. And the way that I'm seeing this is that he's been kind of recently summoned. I don't know if I'm going to do any blood effects on him, but I do like the idea that maybe it took some sort of ritual to summon him that involved a little bit of blood. Alright, and then for the ground that he's stepping upon, I could either do Agrax Earthshade to give it a little bit of a little brown tone to it. Here we go. Or, if we want to continue in the world of trying out new things, I've got these inks. We can do an ink wash on them. It's also a possibility. We have so many possibilities of what we can do with this guy. Okay. Those early ones are done. Let's try a little bit of Agrax Earthshade. See what we think. That still keeps it fairly red on that one. Not liking where that would go. Let's try it on this one. That's not bad. That's not a bad option. Kind of darkens it down. Let's try with one of these washes, or one of these inks really quick. And with that ink, we're actually going to use a different brush to spread that around. Ooh, that's really heavy. Although, as it gets moved around... Man, yeah, that ink is just overpowering. So I think it's already safe to say we're not going to use the ink for that. Still a little wet. Oh. Let's give this a try. I'm liking the dark sea green with the Agrax Earthshade. It is... Yeah, that one's... It's going to look very similar to this color that we have, but it's gonna have a soft hint of green to it. And actually, we could even wash it instead of with the Agrax Earthshade. We could wash it with a Athonian Camo Shade to give it more of a sickly green to it. Zaki Reds. I don't know. Maybe throw some polka dots on him. I like it. I like it. Yeah, so we're going to go with this dark sea green. And as I said, it's going to look very similar to what we already have on here. Leopard print old one. There we go. This is casual Cthulhu. It's fine. And this is why... this is why I ask for your guys' opinions. Don't always take them. Although one of these days I should do a model that is just 100% audience voted on. Every single color, every single step of the way. You guys decide what it is. And just see what happens with that. Now, many of you may be looking at that going, Scott, you're just putting the same color down. It's not doing anything. And I promise you, it's doing something. We're working on that subtlety here. But you can see I'm being very, because it is such a similar color, chat paint sounds like fun. I think that we could get some really interesting stuff doing that. Anyway, as I was saying, let's go ahead and get a closer shot on this one. This dark sea green looks very, very similar to what we've already put down. But it is very subtly different, and we're going for subtlety with this. And then the wash that we put on top of this is going to make this just very different. There we go. Doing the same thing over and over again, the definition of insanity, which is thematically very on point for Cthulhu. Yes, Zachy Reds. That is very true. We're never actually going to get farther than this. Every episode is just going to be me highlighting him with the doing the Zenithal shading or Zenithal highlights. I forget what it's called. And then going back over, making him gray again. And then going back over, giving him the highlights, and then back over, graying him again. This is how Scott ends. This is it. This is where it goes. Doesn't go any farther than this. It's been fun, y'all. Cool. So there's that. Looks the exact same. I know. It's okay. But now what we're going to do is we're going to work on this stone. And I'm not usually one to do this, but we're going to make a custom color for this. We're going to use my personal favorite, dark stone, and we're actually going to mix in a bit of that burnt red. I really want this to look like a stone that was made of a strange, almost alien substance. So let's see what we can concoct. Ooh, I like that color. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I like that color a lot. And I'm already realizing my folly in that I should have done the words first. And also, I should have done the stone before I did the ground. Oh well. You live and you learn, and then Cthulhu kills you. All right, so really like that color. But now I'm going to do the thing that I should have done first. I'm going to use a very fine tip brush for this one. And by a very fine tip brush, I mean we're going to use my standard go-to brush. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, but I actually am going to go through all of that that writing in there. It's very very subtle stuff, but there's text on there in an ancient dead language. Yeah, they didn't even do basic runes. It looks old and weird. We're going to go through that, and we're going to do that in green. Sort of green. Now I've got some reference material for this as well. We're kind of going for something like this. See how that green is seeping through? But I want it to look older than that. I want it to look a little different. But that's kind of the look that we're going for. So that's the reference material that I'm looking at. I'm going to give that a... not a yellow-green. Would a dungeon slime be too much? Dungeon slime might not be too much. Let's do it. Because we want it to be a really, or at least I want it to be, a really bright green that I then darken down with washes so it looks like maybe it's kind of being hit with some ancient magic. And if that's the case, we might even go over with the airbrush a wee bit and brighten it up. So. Main cam, there we go. This would be tedious. However, I don't need it to be perfect because I'm going to go back over with the stone color. Like, we're actually going to be able to wipe a lot of this off. Yeah, if that was the job that I was doing, that would look horrible. But that's not the job that I'm doing. Because now what I'm going to do is with a clean rag. So actually, yeah, no, this is what I got right now. Well, that didn't work as good as I wanted, but that's okay. Still gonna be able to resolve this. Zachary Reds. Maybe Cthulhu only has tentacles on his face because that's the only part that he dips in the water. Yep, maybe he actually needs to breathe water, and so just every so often he has to go to the ocean and dunk his head in. Every time he's on land, he's actually just holding his breath. It's quite possible. Anything's possible with the Dark Lord Cthulhu. Okay, that's starting to... Still think of the dark South Park song. Me and the Dark Lord Cthulhu. It's a good song. You know, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they know how to do musicals. Clearly. Again, this looks really sloppy, what I'm doing right now. But that's okay. Because we're going to go back over with the stone color and essentially dry brush that. And that's going to clean up the edges. And it might not be the cleanest line on the inside, but it's still going to look good. Essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fill the text with paint. What a stupid thing I just said. Of course that's what I'm trying to do, jeez. You see, when painting a model, you really want to make sure that you get paint on it, you know? At the end of the day, as a painter, you're just the tool, the vessel, if you will, that gets paint onto the piece. Ben, gotta go. Have a good one. We'll hopefully see you here in a bit. Enjoy sketching. There we go. Mr. Austin, did you go with them to college with them in Colorado or just miss them? That's a good question. I believe Zagmeister is related to... Oh, wait, no, Zagmeister, you're in... Are you in Colorado? Hey, Reskin420. You have yourself a good meeting. Thank you so much for dropping by. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Whew, all right, remembering to Stay hydrated. Oh, come on, Zag, what? You calling us old? What is that? Jeez, look at that. There's a lot of text on this thing. The whole Marsh family is based on... Yeah. Oh! They did, didn't they? I forgot. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, you were talking about Trey Parker and Matt Stone, not the rest, not those of us here at the Adventurers Pack that went to college at CU Boulder. Turns out it's actually a lot of us. Man, some of those lines down there are getting crisp. Thinking about going to college to get your welding certification. Oh, nice. That's, such a cool, vocation. I've done a little bit of welding in my time, and would love to have done more. Is there anything in particular, Mr. Awesome, that you want to do with that? Like, do you want to... You know, once you get your certification, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go with that? All right, there's that. So let's go ahead now and go back with that first color, that brown that we created. Yeah, welding is pretty cool, and it pays well too. Yeah, that is also a good reason for it these days. Just trying to get better work. Yeah, I hear ya. I hear ya. Well, that didn't do what I wanted it to do at all. Uh-uh. Alright, I need to let that dry a little bit longer before I do anything to it. Good thing, too, because I think Cthulhu might be ready to have some work done to him. Let me just fix this piece really quick. There we go. So, while we let this dry, Cthulhu, how's it going, buddy, old pal, old friend? Ready to have some work done to you? I hope so. So, here's the thing. We've got a lot of this this white in here, and, well, don't really want to put more white down on him. So what do we do with it? Well, unfortunately, we dump it. You could save this. And there's a part of me that's like, oh, come on, save it. But, nope, it is what it is. And now, oh, hello. We've got a good chunk of, well, color in there that we still don't want on our model. The way that we deal with this, Airbrush Cleaner. Where did I put it? So, I've got this little totally legit thing of Airbrush Cleaner. I'm just going to put that in there. And what we're going to do is we are going to back clean this. Now, the way that we do a back blow on this is we cover up the nozzle, get some air going through there, and we open up the trigger, and that's going to force the air to come through. Yeah. And we're going to get some nice bubbles in there. That is also a great way to mix paints. I'm going to move that away from Cthulhu so we don't get any splash on him, because that would be horrible. Anyway, yeah, so we're just gonna use this to clean our pot. And also use the brush that we've been using to really get in there. And just get to work. And now it's not going to be necessary that we get a full 100% clean on this, because right now the color that we're cleaning out is a white. So once we, oh, ran out. Once we, words. Once we put another color in, was that a great, like, look. Once we put another color in there, we're going to be looking at just a cleaner color, a more highlighted version of it, and eventually that will go away. Sniffing this to make sure it is actually what I think it is. Let's go ahead and pop this off. Ooh, this is precarious at best. Let's actually do this. Yeah, this will work. There we go. All right, get a little more black back blow in there. And lastly, I'm gonna get a little more in there. And rather than blowing it out through the top, we are going to blow it through the airbrush itself. Oh, I forgot to bring out I've got a specific pot that you use to stick the nozzle in and, well, clean it. For now, now, I should be okay if I do it here. I'm going to do it against the rim. Yeah. There we go, and we're going to do this until it flows clean. Alright, it's flown fairly clean. So at this point, let's just do this until pure air is coming out. And there we go. So now we're ready to put another color in. As aforementioned, for this, we're going to, cappuccino. Oh. Oh man, that actually sounds really good right now. For this, we're going to be using Scaly Hide. I think this is going to be an excellent color for our Cthulhu. And this is going to be a majority of his body. Alright. That's shaken up a bit. Let's get that in there. And then we're going to water this down. Well, not water it down. We're going to thin it with paint thinner. Well, airbrush thinner. I opted for the more natural variety. How's Fury doing? Fury's doing, he's doing all right. He's hanging out on the shelf. He is, I'm actually getting a proper box for him so we can actually get him shipped off. But, you know, he's being well taken care of. We're making sure that he's enjoying his stay here at the tavern. Yeah, typically I've got a place that I go to pick up all of my shipping implements. Turns out, kind of dangerous to go to right now. Who could have thought about that? I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna put a little more paint in there. I think I thinned it down a little too much. The nice thing about this airbrush medium is it doesn't affect the color too much. I do notice a little bit of a variation in the color, but honestly, it's not incredibly drastic. All right, and we're grabbing our piece here to make sure that we've got a good flow. Let's try this. See what this does. That's such a subtle green. Is that too subtle? My gosh, like you can't even see that on camera. Uh-oh. Alright, we might need to reconsider the color that we're using. Or could be the fact that I did thin it down just way too much. Let's find out. This is the biggest problem that I have with airbrushing. I have a very hard time getting the proper consistency of the paint in the airbrush. Also, we're going to get a little bit of back blow here. As again, this helps to mix it. How's that? It's better. It's still really subtle, but you know what? We're going to try it. Worst case scenario is we just go back over it with a stronger green. Hey, Cthulhu. How you doing, friend? Let's paint you. Woo. Oh my gosh. Like, that is... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I can barely see that at all. Oh, and I totally forgot about something. Now that we've done the Zenithal highlighting, we don't need that on him. So, as we were, you guys starting to see that on the back there? Yeah, it's coming along. Hey, Lazy Gothy, just got back from the doctor. Good to hear. I'm so glad to hear that improvements are happening. Oh boy. Whew. All right. I am noticing this is still coming on a little thin. So we're gonna mix them up some more. Oh boy. There we go. All right, let's try this. Boy howdy. How quickly does the paint dry from an airbrush as opposed to using a brush? It's a really good question. It depends on the coat. I've done a little bit of airbrushing where, you know, seconds later it's been dry, but to be honest, it does take a little time. It's easier for it to wipe off with an airbrush. So I'd give it the normal amount of time. Yeah, that green is really starting to come out. It took some time, but we're getting it. God, there's really not a good way of holding this guy. Oh no. Now, when working on this guy, well, when working with an airbrush, the big thing that I understand is it's all about how close you get, how far away you get. So the farther away you are, the larger area you're covering. The closer you get, the more detail you're able to hit. However, with an airbrush, you also have to keep track of how much pressure or how much air pressure is going through. I can't actually right now get really close to this because I've got the air pressure up a little high. Which is fine, because right now I'm trying to cover a wide area. Mr. Awesome, are you going to try to give the skin in their wings like see-through kind of effect? I'm not sure. I have not gotten that far yet. I really wish I had him on like a lazy Susan or something I could rotate around. Yeah, this paint's coming through splotchy. Why? I'm not exactly sure what's happening here. I am starting to think this may not have been the best mini to practice an airbrush on. Much less airbrushing and a new highlighting effect. Whew. But it's okay. Eric, thank you for your concern there. Remember, absolutely worst case scenario at this point. I do like this color. Absolutely worst case scenario is this is essentially going on as like a primer. It does mean that the work that we've done in the last episode would essentially be undone, but we have no problems right now. Whoa, he is so unwieldy. Whew, this is actually starting to get kind of hot. Okay, we're going to take a break from this. We're going to let him dry for a little bit. Oh, wow. Put him over here. I do like this color. I like what's going on here. I like parts of what's going on here. Still a lot of problems that I'm seeing, but we'll get there. Let's go back to something I know how to do. And let's clean up this stone. It's had plenty of time to dry over here, and we're going to take this color that we originally made, and we're going to dry brush it on top here. Alright, looks like we're going to have to make some more of that, but that's okay. It was dark stone with a little bit of this burnt red. And you can see how much that has cleaned up that lettering there. We're using this dry brushing to essentially the way that we're doing this, it's only getting the raised sections, which is where the paint was overflowing. Now I do see a little bit on this that needs to be retouched. There we go. I'm going to do this in a couple of layers to make sure that we get all of this perfectly in. Wow, dang, that looks cool. If I say so myself, that looks pretty darn cool. Mr. Awesome gotta go. Really looking awesome right now. Thank you so very much. We'll, Mr. Awesome, thank you so much for dropping in. As always, you know, we'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your day. Alrighty. And that's gonna do it for the cleanup of the stone there. Tricky part's gonna come after this, where we actually have to put a wash on here. You know, I actually really like the dry brushing effect of this on the ground around it. So, you know, we're gonna actually keep doing that. Yeah, so now it makes it look as though this stone came from the natural ore that is in this area. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm liking how this is starting to turn out. Now, I'm opting to do this dry brushing before the wash. Because again, I want it to be a very subtle effect that's in there. And the wash is gonna hide this effect a wee bit. Alright, cool. That's looking pretty darn good. Let's put that down. Gotta head out to do some work. Have a good one. Thank you so much, Zachy Reds. You as well. Thank you for dropping by, and we'll see you next time. Okay. So here's what I know we're gonna do. We are going to finish this base today. I'm still. Hey, Shady Scott. Hello, hello. Also, a very happy birthday to you, Shady Scott. Thank you so much for dropping by to say hi on this most specialist of days. So yeah, so I'm not sold on how Cthulhu is turning out. It's looking pretty good. I'm getting worried. I'm not getting even coats with this airbrush. I don't think my airbrushing chops are there yet, and I think this is a pretty big miniature to do that on. Even as I'm talking right now, I'm thinking what I'm going to end up doing is go over this with just a brush, take care of it, and go from there. And we'll keep learning airbrushing. Even just in what I've done here, I feel as though I've learned a lot with airbrushing. Okay, so for this stone, we're actually going to use Athonian Camo Shade, which is one of my favorite washes, as you can see. I've used a lot of it. And this is going to add kind of a sickly green going on here. Wink. I'm actually going to do my darndest to keep the wash out of the writing as much as I can. gonna be counterintuitive, but I think it's gonna look good because of that. There we go. I think I need to shake this up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really liking what this wash is doing to this base. It makes it look as though, because Cthulhu typically, when he is summoned, he's always depicted emerging from the ocean. So I always envisioned this base being somewhat by the sea. And Athonian Camo Shade, to me, has always done a really good job of getting that, like, murky sea green effect going on. There we go. So, with that is our base. Now, it has not been highlighted yet. And honestly, I may have actually just gone a step too far by washing it. But I need to get Cthulhu on this as quickly as possible. Because the way that he's mounted right now, the way that I'm handling him, it's clunky. It's not great. So I need to be able to actually handle him. Yeah. That's looking pretty cool. So we're going to let that dry. And while that's drying, we're going to have a chat. Yeah, I think after all of that, work that we've done with the... my hand is so gross whenever I take the glove off. After all that work that we've done with the airbrushes, or the airbrush on Cthulhu, I am not confident enough in my abilities to continue using the airbrush on this model. Now, I know that I talk a lot about how, well, you know, I like to try new things and I like to practice new things. I do. This is a big model to... There's a lot of variables going on with me learning this new technique. It is a massive model with a lot of detail. This is honestly the biggest model that I've ever worked on that hasn't been terrain, and because of that, it has a lot of detail. So we've got that going for us. It is working with an airbrush, which this is really the first model that I've done that has used the airbrush. And then on top of that, doing a new highlighting technique using the airbrush. That's 3 big variables going on that are putting me in a place of discomfort beyond learning. When learning something new, I always feel as though it's important that you take it one step at a time. And right here, I feel as though I have jumped 3 steps in. And that is, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And because I don't know what I'm doing wrong, I'm having a hard time learning from that. So what I think we're going to do is next time, so on Saturday, we're going to pick up where we left off with Cthulhu. I'm not going to touch him. I'm not going to reprime him or anything like that. We're just going to pick up with a brush, with our paints, and go from there. So we haven't lost any ground on it. We're taking a left turn at Albuquerque. That's all that we're doing. I really like this scaly hide color on him. I really do. But as I said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if what I'm doing is wrong, because I don't know if I'm getting uneven coats, or I don't know if the shading is working. It could be that what I'm doing right now is actually working, but to me it looks like uneven coats. So there's that. So yeah. That being said, I think that I've still learned a lot. I am a lot more comfortable now using an airbrush, so I'm excited to continue using an airbrush. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start using the airbrush to paint terrain pieces, which I'm very familiar with, and we may end up doing some of that on the channel. But yeah, so next week we're going to continue working on with Cthulhu. We're going to put paint on him with a brush, the medium that I am very confident and comfortable with, while painting this large piece. I guess what I'm doing is wrapping up. So I want to say a big old thank you to all of you who joined me here in the audience. I hope that this has been a lovely start to your week. Before I go, I also want to give a big shout out to all of our patrons. You guys are really helping the Adventures Pack here to continue to grow, and you know, we're getting to do cool new stuff because of it. Some stuff that we're hoping to do once quarantine is over, but we're also trying to advance the envelope forward with the content that we are releasing here in the quarantine. So, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I am still going to do a post-show hangout today. If you would like to follow us on our social medias, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and now Discord. So, all of those are... You can join them. Our Discord is open to the public. There are links in our widgets below. Oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a really quick. We're gonna do a post-show hangout, but also, you know what? Ben is currently streaming right now, and I think that it would be so much fun for us to raid him really quick. Let's pop over and say hi to him. So as I set that up, I'm gonna go ahead and give my little ending speech of thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you at the next painting in place. And now let's go ahead and raid Ben. So let me see here. Raid channel. Ben is live. Start the raid. If you would all like to join me, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go say hi to him. I'll see you all later.